What is going on, race fans? Welcome to another edition of the Northwest Race Report. I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm thrashing. Yep, I did the stupidest thing you could ever do. And that was, I tried to redo my studio a night before, the night before I was supposed to get things rolling. So I apologize for that. Let's see who's P1. Dan Watkins is P1. Jason Suchich in the house. He is P2. Joe Ransom, P3. Cody Chisholm. Cody, CC33 in the house. Daniel Kravitz in there. Right on, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. That's pretty awesome. 208 in the house, he says. Joe Ransom. Hey, so, yeah, here's the deal, Lip. For those of you just tuning in or you've never tuned in before, if you're listening out there, this is a Northwest Race Report. I'm Terry Bridges, your horsepower and performance broadcaster, and sitting alongside me is the best co-crew chief in the business, Mr. Glenn Lippy Tower, and we're here to bring you just cool race stuff. We don't always know what we're doing, and just like you don't always know what setup you're going to throw in there. Sometimes you throw in the kitchen sink, other times you don't. Tonight, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have much because I've been thrashing on the studio. You know, here's how it goes, Lip. By the way, how are you?
I'm good today.
Are you?
No, but that's okay.
Oh, you're supposed to say, it's all good tonight.
I'm working on that.
Well, here's how it goes, Lip. So I've been, we've talked a little bit about, redoing the studio.
Which it looks great, by the way.
Thank you. But I just wanted to clean it up, and kind of, how you get the fancy kind of desks, right? They're rounded on the corners and, that kind of, that's what I wanted. Something kind of mod that made me feel like, I was in a studio. And wouldn't you know, I go to the office place. The lady was super cool. There was some stuff in there, Honestly, I don't think it was that bad of a price. I just didn't want to drop 300 bones for a deal. So I thought, man, I can do this. So I looked online. Design Craft USA, by the way.
Oh.
Is where you can look that stuff. They've got layouts and everything. So I try it, and I'm thinking, well, I don't have enough wood. I thought I had enough wood. I took this old desk apart. This desk weighs about 5,000 pounds. And I hacked it up with my Sawzall. That was kind of fun. Thinking I was going to reuse it. Could I reuse any of it?
Nope.
Thank you. So, got a great show for you tonight. Thanks for listening to me jamble. We got some results from Salem Speedway, which, by the way, was awesome. I'm going to tell you about a little deal that I did on Saturday, night after New Year's. Hopefully, everybody had a great New Year's. And we're going to talk a little BK. We're going to talk a little bit about the Classic and how that overlaps, and but mainly the BK.
Yeah,
that's coming up. That's the biggest deal going on now, anyway. Did you get some Monroe results by chance? I know Strebby, did he post that?
I don't know. I'm having a little trouble with my phone tonight. It is not liking our Wi-Fi for some reason. So
That might be because I'm hogging it all up. I don't know. But anyway, that is what's going on. And I think if, let's just say, if we get those results from Monroe, we should have them. I apologize. It's just been crazy. But we will get them to you. So let's go and check out some results from Salem Speedway. All right. Tonight's Winter Circle Wednesday brought to you by Wicked Fab from Auburn, Washington. The good folks at Wicked Fabrication been doing the cool stuff on the old hot rod since 2002. So when you think hot rods, think Wicked Fabrication. Craig Wick and his bunch over there, they'll do you right. Tell them you heard it on the Northwest Race Report, and you never know what you just might get. You might just get charged more. Went to Salem. Well, actually, I'll do that. Went to Salem. Not a bad turnout. I think there was 40. Oh, my goodness, 46, maybe I want to say. Doug Bartlett, what's going on, my man? Scott Warning in the house. Right on.
Nice.
There was 46 or so. No UAS guys. I was kind of a little bit surprised. I mean, not shocked, but a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
Because I thought everybody'd be tuning up, trying to get as much laps as possible. But from what I understand, Wetline Racing in the house. Chris Passanante, the Italian assassin there. Clark Family Racing, right on, guys. Ronnie's going to be down next week.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought he was going down after the beginning of the year.
Well, that's what I thought too. But you never know. So Ricky Worley in the house. Thanks for. Oh, but yeah. So that's all cool. Ricky Worley just reminded me. So let's get on to Salem. Not bad. Let me tell you, it was cold.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It was cold. But it was gorgeous, blue skies, happy faces. That's always cool to see. And some really good, solid racing, like you get all the time at Salem Speedway. I mean, Slideway Saturday is tough to beat. But let's see here. This was, Fonfara took the Junior 1 two-cycle because he was the only kid there. But, I love his effort. He's out there anyway. Doing it with 1 or 20, Junior 2 two-cycle went to Jasmine Hildebrand, and she's part of the Time Again Racing, and Chloe Fonfara was on an 80cc Comer.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, so she got the runner-up spot. Kid kart. I hate to say it, but anytime you only have 2 guys in a class, because you did it, it's pretty tough to put on
a good show.
It is. But I'm going to tell you, Graham Trammell is giving Sizzle and Seth all he can handle.
Nice.
I mean, I think Sizzle and Seth finally found his match, right?
That's great.
As always, Trammell shows up. His cart is absolutely pristine. And they went at it. Waldo took the first heat. I was thinking, boy, okay, here we go. He says, I'm sick of this. Second heat went to Trammell. And
back and forth.
Yeah, Sizzle and Seth end up getting the win. So it was tied up, 1 apiece. Go to the main event. Sizzle and Seth takes the win. Rusty Rossmeyer.
Oh, he found me.
He says they were in Arizona where it was warm. Yeah. Brady and I are tuning in on his KK for the BK. Oh, tuning. Okay, right on. Joe Ransom. So Brady's going to be there. What class is Brady going to run, if you don't mind me asking? Hit me up on the chat, or Lippy, or KT Heavy was the biggest class. Let's see, they had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 in heavy. The names like Brandon Day, Scott Keeney, Darren Markham, Skeeter Phillips, Corey Markham, Bill Story, Justin Beard, Alan. I mean, it was loaded. Chuck Jones. Those are all great Yamaha drivers. You know what? I'd take any one of them anywhere. Seriously. I mean, they're that good.
That's a tough class right there.
You darn right it is. And get this. So the Italian assassin, Chris Passanante, he doesn't bring his big one. He brings his Yamaha kart. And if you know anything, it's an old V4 Bug. Hey, you know what? You laugh, but actually, I remember when Fow had, I think it was that ride. That was a good car.
I've done nothing but chase that thing.
That thing was good from the time Fow had it. So Bug was onto something. One of the few, but let me tell you, Passanante checked out, dude. He was wicked.
He usually does.
He was flat wicked. He took the win. In the main, Corey was there. Darren was fast early in the first heat. He was super fast. And the track it looked awesome, but it was slippery. You could just see. I don't know. It was frozen underneath.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
Just
frozen.
Hard to get a hold of. But yeah, Passanante was. I mean, he was backing up that I'm the fastest Yamaha on the West Coast deal. I'm serious. And I'm not doing that to get your goat. I'm just saying he was getting it.
Yeah, he sets the bar pretty high whenever he shows up with that thing. And it doesn't matter who's in that. Corey drives that thing quite often, too, and it doesn't matter who's in that thing. It's fast. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and that's when you got a good go-kart, right? And you get one out of maybe 25 that are, you know what I mean? You could actually just do whatever you want, and it seems to just work.
Same with motors.
Yep. But, well, I'm just going to say, anytime you drive away from Corey Markham in KT Heavy, now I know he had a little bit of a problem with the right rear. I thought it was flat, but but still, you know, I mean, nobody just walks Corey Markham. So, but the Italian Assassin did. He was killer. Let's see how that went. So, yeah, the 58, the 23, and the OH was awesome. Brandon Day, probably, you know, he gets, I think he got third, but I'm going to tell you, that's the best I've seen him look all day long.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? There was no brain fade. He was in it all day. I was impressed. So that was heavy. Kravitz was good. He struggled a little bit, and he and Spear got, I think it was Spear, got together in the main. I don't even think they meant to do anything, but it was just going to be you know, going down the front straight away, and you know, did he move up? Did Kravitz move? Yeah, I don't know. That's Kravitz racing. Ended up 8th to 9th, but you know, I think he was I don't know, he was better than that, but I don't know if he was that good. I've seen him a lot better, but they were searching a little bit. But you know, that could have been the racetrack too. But here's what I'm going to say. You better know that kind of racetrack, because that very well might be what you're going to get at BK.
Yeah, for sure. And not to take anything away from Kravitz, those guys do a great
no,
job.
I wasn't saying that at all. I've just seen him much better, so they might have just been searching for the setup. So congratulations to the Italian Assassin, by the way, who is going to be our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest tonight. And, boy, lots of stuff going on there, too. I got some cool stuff to tell you, but while I'm at it, I might as well tell you, Blue Line Graphics, there's still time, folks. Don't dilly-dally, though. This is it. Blue Line Graphics is excited to have several teams rocking the designs at BK8 of BLG.Blue, so don't be left out. Come in there looking fresh. I'm going to tell you, everybody there is going to be Pimp Daddy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was just talking to Brian night before last, and Tim Lawrence's stuff was just coming off the press.
Baby, I saw the thing on that. Good night. That thing is awesome. But I'm just going to say, you know, they say if it don't go, chrome it, but that's BS. I mean, you got to look, you know, if you look good, you roll good. So make sure you get it in. Brian called me today, said there's still time to get a new creation that'll make you stand out. Go to www.blg.blue and tell them you want the Rush BK job, and they'll get you hooked up. But don't dilly-dally, because you're kind of running out of time.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. LO206, not bad, but here's the special treat. Craig Chiesa and his brother Dustin filled in and drove both of Normanden's cars. Normanden, I guess, was back in Pennsylvania or something. And so Craig Chiesa, who is a World Formula driver, and his brother Dustin, who is a very good World Formula driver, they came and rolled. And I'm going to tell you, Dustin looked pretty good. He drove the 66, and Craig drove the 6. And Dustin was getting it, man. He was getting it, but wasn't enough. The King, Steve King, get this. He runs down Hatch, goes by Hatch, and Hatch has to give him a little, you know, one of the little, I don't like that on the way by bumps, right? And King goes on, and I mean, he drove away.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm not joking.
Glad to see
I'm not
that.
joking. So,
Steve King.
Yeah, man. Long time coming, though. That guy has worked. Oh, and there he is. That guy has put in the time. Right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's a great guy. He
always works
there.
hard at it, and it's good to see him have some good, you know, because, you know, I mean, I love Hatch. Hatch is good. I'm not dogging Hatch. I'm just saying, you know, he's like the Celtics, right? After a while, everybody hates you because you win all the time.
It's nice to throw a few of the other people a bone once in a while.
Yeah, you know, I can't say. I'm just super happy for, you know, and he was proud of it, too, and he should have been. That was, it wasn't a gimme. He rolled on by, baby. That's probably the best I've seen him look ever at Salem. So congratulations to the King. I'm going to have to start calling that thing Christine. So, but yeah, Dustin Chiesa, Craig Chiesa, they did good. Hatch was second. You know, and then Mike Clark ran the first heat, and then he turned it over to his son, Mikey, True Tech Automotive. So, and I think he ended up third. But let's see. Yeah. So awesome stuff. I'm just super happy for Steve King.
I love the 206 class. That's a great class.
It's getting there, man. It truly is. Super Sport Heavy. Boy, this was pretty good. Dennis Flint takes the win.
Wow, that guy's a shoe.
The dude is a shoe. He had his work cut out for him, though. Ty Easton was right there. And then Jeff Paris actually ran pretty good. His J&W sandblasting machine was pretty decent. But the Anytime Trucking Burrell of Dennis Flint was a monster. Just too good. I'm going to tell you, though, I'm getting to that.
Working your way up to it.
And here it is. Guess who wins light?
Day.
Beard.
Wow, really?
Yep.
That was coming.
You know it was, man. Dude, I'm telling you right now, that dude has a shot at winning the BK. He truly does.
He's been looking better and better and better. He's figuring it out.
Man, I like everything I see about Justin Beard. I'm telling you, he's got great decision-making skills. He knows when to, he'll play rough if he has to, but he doesn't go out looking for it. But if you want to play hardball, he'll play with you. So I don't know, man. That's it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean Brandon Day too. I'm telling you, those are a couple guys that they're going to be the guns in KT stuff.
Oh yeah, KT. Anything down there at the BK is going to be rough.
Oh, Justin Beard checking in. Right on, man. Congratulations on that win. That was a big win. Yeah, that was a big win. So congratulations on that. Corey Markham was there. They went at it too. So yeah, baby. Let's see. Fart carts. This was, I don't know if I got all these right, but you never know. I'm telling you what, Mike Michelson can roll. Let's see, Jeff Nelson was there. Casey Jones rolled. Mikey Clark, Julie Day. Here's who struggled. Nick Handley. I don't even think he ran. I don't think he got a lap. He ran a couple warm-ups, and that was it.
Yeah, Rusty talked to Hanley, and he came down with a new motor package, just trying it out to see what was going on, and same as the last one, it just wanted to lay over in the corners and haven't really figured out what it is or why it's doing it. So, and there's a couple of them, Rusty, I, and Tony, we struggled with those. We went through 3 motors before we found one that would stay running for us, and then the throttle linkage broke off on that on the last endurance race. So, that's going to be part of my topic for this afternoon or this evening is what about these motors? So I'm glad to see the class is growing. That's great. And it is a good class.
It is a good class. I mean, again, like we discussed, I hope it doesn't get – there's a potential there for it to you really – I mean, it's fun to go lose your mind – every now and then, right? But you kind of want to see some new people maybe, get some glory and success and stuff in there. And I think that's really the place for them to get it, right? I mean,
yeah, I have to agree 100% on that. This is how I feel about that class. It's a great class. It's a great beginner class. And what they're doing with it, as far as keeping it stock and not allowing these guys to do anything to it, is a big key. But when it gets filled up with all the people that are really good racers and come out of classes and have been doing it for a while, they're really chopping off the guy that's trying to come in and get something started and taking the wind out of their sails. I'd like to see maybe, the endurance races are one thing when everybody starts teaming up, but to have all the shoes step into this class, it's really going to end up not doing it any favors, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's not to say that, like the Busch Grand National stuff, right, that used to be, it's okay to come run it now and then. Every now and then you need to go just not have to think, really, and just go have some fun. But I agree with you. I just think there's a potential there that could make something that could be probably really good, maybe end up being not so good just because of that. So, but whatever, it's going to be what it's going to be. It was crazy though. Now that my memory comes back to me, Spear was there. DeMars, he was rolling. And at the end, I can't remember if the 95, he was looking back off of turn 2, but I think that was in the heat race. He was coming off of 2, and he looks back to see where everybody is, and Descartes hits the middle of the backstretch wall, tears the right front corner off.
Oh.
Wheel goes bouncing down the racetrack.
Wow.
That's why what's behind you really isn't important.
For sure.
Either that or take a peek a little earlier. But and so then it comes down to and so Spears leading it, and he thinks it's over. There's a caution late. He thinks it's over, so he pulls in. And they're going to go green, white, checkered.
Oops.
Yep. So as they're getting about ready to go green, here comes Spear blazing out of the pits. Boom. Boy, he's telling Charlie, but he God, I'm trying to remember how that I think he was he came up almost did he win that? Sucic, help me out there. Did Spear win that?
He's running on DeMars' motor from the last race, isn't he? Yeah, that's a strong motor. I could see him driving up through there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, why can't I remember that? I would think that was or did DeMars win that? I think DeMars won that. He did win it. He hung on. He won that. Okay, he was third. So, so there it is. So DeMars goes and gets another motor. And he takes care of the one, so it just goes to show you it ain't always the motor, right?
No,
and I think everybody was
class.
saying that, it was like, okay, you can have it for 120. I'll go get another one, but that just shows, just because you're fast doesn't mean you're cheating, and that's a bad habit to assume, it just really is. So,
it's the easy way to go. That's for
well,
sure.
it is, but it's really not the right way to go, but. So, and no UAS. Yeah, no UAS. So, congratulations to the bandit, Justin DeMars. And, and he was fist pumping, too, when he took that win, because it was kind of like, confirmation, right? Told you. We weren't cheating, and we turned around, and we were going to get you the next time. So, cool stuff. That's what went on at Salem. Here's the biggest news going on right now. I got a call from Jason Sucic. For those of you who don't know Jason, you better get to know him. He is the promoter down at Salem Speedway, Slideways Saturday, and the Slideways weekends, the 2-day shows as well. Guess what he did?
Got some TV.
Yeah, he got Fast 4 Media to come, and so here's going to be the cool thing. I talked to Kyler today on the phone, and so what's going to happen, Lip, if you can be there, hopefully you can, is they're going to film our pre-race and post-race. It's going to be live on the Fast 4 Media.
Oh, man, I got to shave.
Yeah, you do. So, yeah.
Fart cart. This is what...
yeah, that's right. Jason just said. That's right. He jumped the start because Jeremy, I remember now that he told me that in the grandstands.
Thanks to Matt Strebe, it looks like fart cart from that weekend would have been Justin DeMars, Mikey Clark, Mike McNelson, and Rick Spear, Eric Waddell, Tom Mulligan, Jeff Nelson, Casey Jones, Julie Day... all the way down to 9th. It looks like, Hanley was a DNS.
Here's the other thing, too. You haven't seen him on the pavement. But this kid, Mikey Clark, he can drive just about anything. I haven't seen him in a 2-stroke, but, boy, he can drive the wheels off of 4. I mean, he ran the Oregon State Karting Championship Series and whatever, and I was like, who is... I thought he was an adult, right? And I'm like, who is this guy? Because he was just blazing. And I'm going, holy cow. And he's Mikey.
He's a good kid. I like him a lot.
He is. The whole family's incredible, man. I mean,
friended him on Facebook, and yeah, he's always posting up something that either makes me laugh or makes me go, really?
Yeah. Well, his sister's no slouch either, Becca.
Wow.
Yeah, she runs right with the boys. So, Yeah, that whole Clark family. You know, it's just that's what I was telling Steve Mullen. He talked to me on Facebook the other day, and I was like, he says, "What's so great about BK?" And I said, basically everything. It's the atmosphere. It's the hype. I says, you're probably not going to find a race anywhere, at least on this coast, that's going to be loaded with any more talent than what's going to be here. I mean, this is probably going to be one of the most competitive races people will be a part of this year.
Yeah, definitely. That and the Betty Boop up at ORV, both of those races for everybody out here are big races with a lot of people that show up, and they're very well run. The BK with the covered pits and, being the indoor, never knowing whether the track's going to be froze, dry, wet, or otherwise. Kurt Burris.
Yeah,
nice.
Burris in the house, baby.
Good to see you. It really is, and you're right. It's everything about the atmosphere. After the races are over at night, everybody is just always high-fiving and going from pit to pit and sharing their, whether it be soda pop, beer, barley pop, whatever it may be. They're everybody's always friendly and a great time. It's It just doesn't get any better than that. And to be in the middle of winter like that, when everybody else is usually huddled up in their houses and trying to stay warm, there we are out there with 3 layers of clothes on and racing our hearts out. I mean, it's just really, you couldn't ask for anything better in the middle of the winter.
Yeah, I agree. Here's what I'm going to tell you, and I tell these asphalt guys all the time. Every time I bring up the dirt, they're always like, dirt just ain't my thing. It's like, it doesn't have to be your thing. It doesn't. I'm not saying you got to give up asphalt and go dirt. Here's what I'm saying, though. You're getting laps. So I don't care if you're running on the dirt in an oval or you're out on the pavement running a road course. It's seat time. And you're going to give, the biggest thing I see from it is you actually get another way to look at how to set up your asphalt stuff. You know what I mean? You probably aren't going to, you're going to understand the kart functions more than just like a sprint racer, right? So it might give you it might help the light go on sometimes or give you another way to look at something instead of just the same old way.
Yeah, when I was, we were running an indoor one a while back, and we had quarter midgets that came with us. And the quarter midget guys would come down there.
Oh, here we go, baby.
Mr. Passanante, back to that in a little bit.
Oh, baby, it's time for our Blue Line Graphics in the Seat guest. And as the new year approaches, get ready for the 2016 season with a new look from Blue Line Graphics. We have custom racing designs and graphic kits for all your motorsports needs. Also ask about our brand new helmet graphic kits to go along with your new look. Stand out, get noticed. www.blg.blue. The Italian Assassin, what is going on, man?
Hey, Terry, how are you?
Man, I am so tickled that you are on my show. It's just awesome.
Well, thanks for having me. How you doing, Lippy?
Good. Glad to have you on here. You and the whole Wetline crew. You guys are awesome.
What you guys are doing is really the awesome thing. So thanks for supporting the racing, here in the Northwest and all over, actually. You're reaching out left and right, which is really cool to hear online as well. And just happy to be here.
It's a ton of fun, Chris. I'll tell you. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you tuned in earlier, but, I was trying to redo my studio, right, trying to get some cool furniture, and it didn't work out, right? I had the idea in my head, but I just couldn't get the stuff to match up. You ever have that problem?
That problem happens, I think, everywhere to everybody and everything. It's not you.
So it was just like, and the stupid thing was I did it a night before the show. It was stupid. I asked for it, so I got it. But
at least it was the night before, not an hour before, right? People
well,
show
dude,
up to the track all the day, and they decide they're going to rebuild their cart right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was vacuuming getting it close to 6, right? So, hey, so congratulations, by the way, on the big win. You looked, you were backing up that statement. The fastest KT on the West Coast. I don't think you're too far off.
Well, it's probably a bit out of character for me to say something like that, but if you look back, a couple seasons in Salem, Albany, outdoor Salem, ORV, I guess the record kind of speaks for itself, right?
It does, and they weren't just runaways like at Albany. You came from the back. I mean, but Chris, this has been going on for as long as I can remember, right? I mean, when we were at Castle Rock doing that stuff, it was kind of the same thing there, right? I mean, maybe not quite as consistent, but it was. I mean, you've been at it a long time, man.
Yeah, and there was my first couple years. I think my first race at Salem, I won that first heat race, and I won it out of pure fear because I thought I was going to get run over by the guys behind me. But then after that, I battled, and I was constantly, that third or fourth place cart, following guys, the fast guys like Joe Tooney, Joe McLean, Rick Grout, Darren Markham, those guys, Phil Fow, a lot of the guys from the day that when I started that were the guys when they showed up to the track, everybody went, oh crap, So it's kind of fun to be where I'm at. I'm really trying to focus on the Open this year, but I wanted to have a play day and come out and just kind of see how things would shake out, and it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's kind of nice when you can come out and pull out Old Reliable like that and put in some laps. It really builds the confidence and let you get into a happy place. I saw online this week, though, that you might have been waiting on some more speed parts for the Open. Is that maybe part of the reason why you weren't out there with that?
Well, I wanted to take a break and have some fun. And like you said, Lip, there's nothing like getting a little bit of confidence back. I've been struggling with that open cart a bit. We finally got it neutral, so it turns in the corner, which is nice.
That's
I'm really
huge.
excited about that. Now we just got to get the power to the ground so we can keep up with those big, monster motors we're going to compete with. And yeah, that new pipe from Taft Racing, that's going to be a nice ticket.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you got that. That's going to help you out with your power band on that thing so it's not quite nearly explosive. And, you're not down on power. It's like you said, it's just trying to figure out how to get it to the ground. And once you master that, it's going to be hold on.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a concerted effort here in the next few weeks to play with my tires a bit. I've really not been the diligent guy that plays the tire game real hard. I've always been real confident just running straight bursts, that I can go to the front. I mean, look at the KT cart. I'm only about, I'm running low 11s, which is about a second off what you need to be for UAS. So it's kind of hard for me to believe you need all that chemical work, but I'm going to dive into it a little bit and do some experiments and see if I can come up with a combination that works.
I know from being at your guys' shop down there and talking to you a little bit, I know you don't like to do the tire prep. I don't like to do it either, but in that class, it is it is necessary. So it's just another component for the toolbox that helps complete the whole package. So yeah, just find the right prep and stick with it. Don't try and do multiples. And, just stick with it. There's a couple of them out there that are real good. If you need some advice, let me know.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I may have to take you up on that.
Speaking of that, other than the seat time, does any of that stuff overlap to the UAS stuff? I mean, can you learn really anything, or are they just two different breeds of animals there?
Are you talking KT?
Yeah. I mean, do you, when you go out on a day, even though your mind's relaxing and, you get to build a little confidence, can any of that stuff that you maybe feel overlay into the UAS deal?
Well, I don't know if I'll ever have the stones to drive my UAS cart one-handed, and kind of just sit back and relax. I'd like to get there. I'm really comfortable in it now, which is a place I wasn't, early this year. So I think the key is not being rushed and feeling confident and being prepared ahead of time. For me, at least, we show up to the track with a big team, but everybody's racing, right? So there's not 4 or 5 guys standing around looking how to help me, so I can take my time and use a restroom and wash my hands, make sure I eat, drink something. I'm working on stuff the whole night that we're racing, just like everyone else that's kind of in the same spot I'm in. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, let me say, I mean, seat time's pretty crucial though. So all you can get there, I mean, is that's only gonna help you. So where are you at with your UAS card? I mean, you said, okay, we finally got it to turn. So what are the steps here now before BK? Do you have anything in mind where you think you're weak at?
Really, I think it's the tire game, right? So I think that's the common denominator that I haven't focused on, and we're just losing a little bit of grip out of the corner. I'm really excited, as Lippy mentioned, this new pipe. Hopefully, it has a little bit broader power band, so it helps not spin the tires right off the corner, but actually let the cart accelerate first, and then hit the power a little harder, right? And then I've got to remember to get off the gas in time and not overdrive the corner. So it's a lot of fun. The 250 appears to have enough oomph. Now it's just a matter of, can I drive the darn thing?
Well, we all know you can drive the darn thing, but Kurt Burris, who's tuned in tonight, he might be a guy to call too. I mean, I know he's going to probably more than likely say, you don't need all that, but he floats around back there, so it might behoove you to just bend his ear a little bit just to see what he thinks. And my deal is, I don't know that the prep deal is actually, I mean, yes, it's grip, but I don't know that it's really all so much the grip as it is when the grip arrives, right? Getting that fire off, as they say, early, and you want to get that jump on the clan, especially if you're mid-pack or whatever. You want to, have that little extra. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but that's kind of what, I mean, that's going to carry on for the race, but I'm just saying I think timing and, when it fires off is important too.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. I mean, look at Diotti last year. He was a rocket out in the beginning of the race, and unfortunately by the end his tires started kind of falling off. And the next thing you know, he was struggling, right? And that's the same thing you see with a lot of cars. And so for me last year, I didn't do much prep work, and my tires really came in the second half of that main, and I got real lucky just to transfer with the last spot. But it's a guessing game in some cases. How many yellow flags? Is there going to be a red flag?
Are you going to run out of gas?
Yeah. Oh my God. I'll never live that down.
Well, Chris, here's what I say too is, and this is what I was saying. I think Lippy and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I'm not saying you got to do away with the prep. What I'm saying is, wouldn't it be nice just to see? You have a big event where they all come together and there's no, you get your tires there, you run what you got, let's see how much of it truly is set up. I mean, that's what I mean. When I was down there at the Insane one, I said, so you mean to tell me you can show up here? I mean, you have to still be set up, but you mean to tell me you can show up here and I can have a dialed setup and you can come in a little bit less than me, but if your tire game's better, you're going to win? And they said, absolutely. And I'm like, God, that is just crazy. How, I mean, I know tires are important, but they shouldn't be that important, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I totally agree with you. I'd be the first one in line for a race where you go and you pay your $300 or whatever it is, and they check you out a set of tires, and your job now is to figure out how to manage those tires and make sure they last a day, right? I'd be down for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't even know how. I mean, well, most of those guys got tire guys back there, but I mean, crap. I mean, to me, that would almost take some of the fun out of it, having to always be concerned with that and rolling in a box and, holy crap. I mean,
that's what it's going to take, though. It's going to take a tire manufacturer coming in there and offering that to get that started. And then once people see it and actually experience it, I think it'll take off. But most people aren't going to be able to throw down that $300, and that's what's sad. But back to what you were saying about prep, and I don't prep. I run Burris tires on everything. And for me, my first 3 to 4 laps, that's when I'm the most vulnerable because I'm waiting for my stuff to come up to temperature. And then I'm good after that. And I've got it dialed in to where I don't fall off at the end of the race. I stay strong. But my first 4 laps, that's when I'm the most vulnerable. And it's because I don't prep. If I prepped, they would come out ready to roll and they would last me till the end. But I'm still lazy. So.
But Lippy, you still block though.
Well, I'm good at it.
Yeah. So, well, hey, man, I don't want to keep you. I know you got work to do. You got some big stuff going on, but I just wanted to, hadn't had you on the show, and I just got to say, wetline racing is a major player, and I think, I think between us and you guys and everybody, I mean, the Speedway thing's catching on. It truly is.
Yeah, I think you're right, Terry. I mean, we're excited. You know, I can't wait to watch the young guns, you know, in the group, and even Darren, you know, come out there this BK. I'm not going to run my KT in the BK race here. I want to focus on that Open, see if I can capture that trophy for once. But watch for Corey. Last year, back to back, you know, he ran light and heavy, and he won that at the BK. So watch him. Watch Brandon Day. Those guys are going to be hunting for that win again.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say because he's out of your camp. I mean, I thought even though you know he didn't win, I thought Brandon Day probably had one of the best weekends I've seen him have. Just if you look at overall, no brain fade, and I mean he was just there. I mean I was impressed.
Yeah, the goal there is finish, right? Just finish and let the chips lie where they may. You know what I mean? And he's getting it. You know, he's getting it.
Yeah,
he's coming along really well.
Yeah, I mean I don't mean that meanly. I'm just saying, you know, because I want to see. But I mean he has the tools. It's just getting so you like Justin Beard. You look at him. I've never seen the guy before. I don't know how much racing he did, but I mean that guy's solid, right? It's just it's all about if you watch his decisions and stuff. It's awesome. So does Wetline got anything new coming up? I mean, you got anything exciting that some scuttlebug that you can maybe give the listeners?
Working on maybe building another car for asphalt. Maybe going to go play with those World Formula guys and see if between Corey and I, if we can go terrorize that class a little bit this coming spring here in the asphalt season. What's
the major difference between the asphalt and the dirt, other than the corners?
I mean, you know, for me, it's turning right and left, and it's a lot of fun, but it's a different game. You really that traction the asphalt provides to the tires. I'm used to kind of sliding the cart and kind of making the chassis kind of work for you, you know, and on the asphalt, man, you're glued down, and you just got to be able to hang on and make it happen.
So in other words, you got to be in shape.
You got to be in shape. But I'm getting old.
That's absolutely true, and I'll get back to my statements that before you called in that I was talking about. But yeah, it's going to reflect on that greatly, and I'll be talking right into what you were just saying. I got a couple questions about your cart, and I know the answers, but a lot of people that are listening don't. So if you don't mind, you said you are running a Taft 250. So that is that's basically the motorcycle motor where they take the bottom end off of it and you get the Taft cast pieces and put it together. So it's more of a cart specific without the transmission. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I got real lucky and picked it up from Mr. Ford Cook, who was looking to move it and get into something else, and so snapped it up this fall.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. So what clutch do you run on that thing?
It's a simple, basically a bully-style 4-disc on a jack shaft setup, so it's pretty basic.
Okay, so is it the turbo or is it just a 4-disc?
It's just a 4-disc.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad to hear that that'll hold the power. And would you running the typical motorcycle chain, or are you running the 35 chain on that thing?
I'm just running the 35 millimeter chain. You know, just the standard 35 chain, not 35 millimeters.
Right. Yeah, it's okay. And so, what do you with that kind of power and everything? Are you replacing that every race or every few races, or is it too soon to tell how long? I mean, you're not going through them, I guess is what I'm getting at.
It's too soon to tell. I put a new chain on when I built that setup, and we took it out. I think we've been on the track with it 4 days now, and I haven't seen any real chain issues. But you know, that's something I'm definitely watching for. Nice.
I'm glad to hear that the 35's holding up to that. And then the last thing is, when I was at the shop, it had Burris all the way around. Is that what you're going to pretty much try and run?
Yeah, that's my goal. You know, I mean, Burris, Mike, and Kurt were great and generous to me this year, and they sent me some tires, you know, after a couple of races that were won this year. And so I'm trying those new big Burris tires, you know, and seeing if we can make them work. We're real close with it. I think if I can get them to fire a little sooner and make sure they last, because once they come in, they seem to be sticking pretty good. So that's kind of what my goal is. But you know, I'm going to have a couple of things in the backup hip pocket just in case something goes sideways on me.
Nice. Glad to hear that. I pretty much only run to Burris, and I'm very happy with that. So that's just seemed to be what worked for me. I know a lot of people run other things, and I'm not down in them at all, but that's what works for me. So glad to hear that.
Yeah, they're plenty fast. I think they're plenty fast. I think the key is, you know, getting them to work and work for your application.
Definitely.
All right, Passanante. We got the quick 5. You're not going to get out of here without that. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions, of which, they're fair. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but you can't really think about it. You just got to give me the first answer that comes to your head, okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay. Who's your favorite racer?
That's a great question. So, I don't know if I got one. Are we talking go-karts or are we talking
No,
NASCAR
just
or something
yeah.
like
I mean,
that?
kind of somebody that motivates you, that you like at the big level.
When I was a kid, I remember watching Richard Petty, and that's kind of what always kind of inspired me as a young lad to think about racing. So I'm gonna stick with that.
Cool deal. That's not bad. The King.
Mm-hmm.
Race gas or methanol?
I prefer gas. Methanol is a pain in the butt.
It's a lot of work.
Burko or Horseman?
Horseman.
Phil Fow or Jason Gibb?
I definitely would hang out with Mr. Fowl a little sooner.
In a KT Heavy grudge match, who would win? Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam?
Yosemite Sam, because he's the rootinest, tootinest, dargone pollutinist, right?
Nice answer.
That's awesome, dude. Hey, we got to get back down there and do another show from Wetline Racing. That was pretty fun.
Had a good time that
yeah,
night.
let's plan that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, Chris, thanks so much. What size T-shirt you wear?
Unfortunately, extra large, but I'm working on that too between now and the BK.
Okay. Well, I'll have it for you at BK because Brian Esquinia from Blue Line Graphics is going to be there, and he's the one doing the shirt. So I'll have a whole box full to get everybody kind of caught up. So I'll have it for you at the BK.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Hey, you
nice
bet.
chatting with you tonight.
Yeah, it was awesome, Chris, as always. Thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Okay,
We'll see
bye-bye.
you.
Chris Passanante, man, what a great guy, I mean, he just gets it.
Yeah, there's no more humble of a guy. He's right when he made that statement about being the fastest. He's definitely the fastest, but he's right. He is a very quiet guy and usually a sleeper, but anymore, he's just, you'll find him up at the front.
Did you read Kurt Burris's, it says, tire prep is overused, not saying that it doesn't change the makeup of the tire, but it gets leaned on way too hard, especially with the lesser experienced racer. The Burris range of compounds allows the racer to select a compound that is close to what the conditions ask for, and if prep is necessary, it is normally used to fire the tire as opposed to making the tire suit the conditions that are compatible with a softer compound.
And that's exactly what I was saying. With what we usually run, I'm usually vulnerable for 3 or 4 laps. If I can block my way through that, then I'm usually a fast cart, and he's absolutely right. If I put the time in and prep my tires so that they would fire off right away, I would probably run away with it maybe, but he's absolutely right. And with all the different compounds, yeah, definitely. If it's starting to chew a tire, it's just time to go to the next one and instead of just throwing more prep at it. But, we're not at the level out here that they are back east. So having said that, you won't trade in my Burris tires for anything else.
Well, the moral of the story is this. Guys, there's no shortcut. It doesn't. You can have the prep game all you want, and you may know it and understand it. Yes, it's going to help you, but, I mean, learn the game, right? Learn it. Then use that to get an edge or whatever, but that's never going to teach you what you really need to know overall. I mean, that's just basically prep is a crutch, and that's really all it is. I mean,
that's a true statement.
So that's just my humble. I'm not dogging it. I'm just saying, go learn it. I mean, it's way funner learning it. I mean, you want to really learn it and understand it, and then when you're ready to, you've exhausted everything else, then you can start trying your preps and seeing if you can fire some. But most people, in my personal opinion, a lot of people, they aren't really ready for that yet anyway, right? Especially at the lower you go. I mean, you gotta exhaust all your resources there first. So James O'Brien, East Shifter,
Kart.com.
Yeah, he's got some cool stuff. They're going SCUSA racing next year. He and Terry Lawrence, they're doing a full schedule. So that's exciting news from them. And hopefully, Kravitz, you got a hold of O'Brien because he's got a trailer there for you. You were just saying you were looking to get one, and he's got a nice one. So that's pretty awesome. I'm so glad Kurt Burris tuned in tonight. That's pretty cool.
That
Burris,
is cool.
You better call me, man, if you're coming up this way. Yeah.
We want to get him back on and talk tires here after the BK and everything's all over with. That's going to be one of my goals this year, is to get on some of the different tire outfits out there, find out what's new, what works for them, different things like that, tire sizes and different things like that. So I'm hoping to be able to tap into him a few months into this year once we start getting going on this deal.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming up with Lapping with Lippy, but hang tight.
Hi, race fans. This is Renee Angel, and you're listening to the Northwest Race Report.
Lapping with Lippy.
All right. So first of all, I wanted to get back to my quarter midget deal that I was talking about before Passanante called in. And one of the things that I found, the quarter midget guys that came to our track that would run on the dirt with us, and what they said to me was, with their kids, it taught them a different skill because the asphalt, you were so locked down, you didn't have a chance for the cart to slide or anything else like that. And when they came to our track and ran with us on the dirt, it taught their kids to handle the slide and what to do when it did slide. And so, it made them a much better driver when the summer came around and they went back to the asphalt. A lot of the parents that didn't make it to our track and didn't bring their kids out and race with us on the dirt were like, wow, what did you do to your kid over the winter? Oh my God, not only is he getting all this track time of racing with us a couple times a month, but it taught him what to do with his quarter midget when it was slipping and sliding or overdriving it or anything like that. So it was really a confidence builder, and it also something else to add to their toolbox. I say that all the time, but it's important. It's part of the whole package. So anyways.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to just throw this in. Dave Chisholm is such a comic, right? So he puts, I don't always dog other tire companies, but when I do, it's on the Northwest Race Report.
Ouch.
Oh, baby.
Okay, so Lapping with Lippy. Thank you, Terry, for
you betcha.
giving me that intro. Tonight's Lapping with Lippy is brought to you by Scott Seal Coat. For all your asphalt needs, give Scott Seal Coat a call. He'll get the job done right and on time. And don't forget, we also stripe things. So get striped by Scott Seal Coat. And, I'm sorry, folks. I don't have a real good topic tonight. I'm struggling. I still lacking some motivation and a little bit of drive. It seems every time I turn around, I find something else that got stolen. And it's making it hard for me to get the enthusiasm up and get things going. Each night that I come down here on Wednesdays, that definitely helps things out. But it's the good thing is my business is definitely busy, so that's always good. But that just means that I don't have time to chase down all the stuff that I do need to make it to the BK. We're trying pretty hard. Rusty's really stepping up and taking care of a lot of that for me. So he's getting things ordered that need to be ordered and making that stuff happen so that we can make it to that. A lot of people have been offering us stuff, and I really appreciate that. I thank you very much. I'm a very prideful man. I like to pay my own way. I have a hard time just taking stuff from people, so I apologize for that. And a lot of people have offered to help, and I just don't know what to do with that. I'm usually the guy that's helping people and giving away my stuff, so I'm sorry, and I'm trying to deal with that myself to get through this whole thing. Anyways, enough of my woes of what is going on back at our race shop. But what I would like to talk about tonight is the clones in the Predator class. I really don't get the draw of either one of these. And this doesn't have anything to reflect on the Fart Cart or the Predator class that's going on at Salem. They're doing very great job down there to keep these things stock and inexpensive. And that, to me, is a huge part of it as far as getting somebody into this sport that hasn't done it before. And I'm glad to hear that. But when I do talk to other people that run the clones and Predators other places, these people will go out and buy these motors for The Predators are $120. The clones are $300 or $400, and then they're taking them to somebody's shop and they're spending between $500 and $800 on making them good and fast. And to me, that just doesn't make any sense. I need somebody to explain this to me on why this is a good operation and why this is a good deal. There's so many other motor packages out there that are a much better platform to start with, i.e. the 206 Animal. We run them on alcohol at our track and allow a few things to them, but not a lot. And, I struggle. I've been trying to get that class to grow for the last 3 or 4 years, and finally I've gotten some people in it, and Chuck Knutson, who's a great guy, came into the class and running a cart with us, and it's starting to grow, and I'm glad for that. But man, the Predators and the clones, they seem like the class just goes like wildfire, and it's such a bad motor. The Predator, it took us 3 motors before we got one that would actually run, and to me that's just, I don't get it. I can buy one animal and I'm still running that animal, so it just, I don't understand the whole draw of the clones or the Predator motors, and for gosh sakes, I mean, the Animal, the 206, Briggs & Stratton, this is an American company we would be supporting if we would just get behind that package and, not buying all this offshore stuff that they're pumping off on us that, most of the time isn't worth the powder to blow it up. So, I'm going to be diving into this for the next week or so, trying to explore it and see what the draws and why it is good. And so far, I haven't found anything. So if you've got something to add to this and you can enlighten me any at all, find me on the Northwest Race Report and Lappin' with Lippy and give me some of your ideas on why this is a good class and why it, back east, it's growing like wildfire. And I don't understand that.
Well, that's a great point, because here's what I said. When I first got back into it, back in my day, I mean, if you brought a 4-stroke to the sprint track, they were like, go mow your grass, dude. I mean, you just didn't do that. They were just barely, people were starting to see that they were going to go. But then I come in and 2008, all right, they've got the Animal. And then they've got the World Formula, and it's like, wait, I don't get it. Okay, so the Animal came out, and so now they turn around and they put the World Formula. I mean, it's like, what? I mean, I don't get it. What's the difference? And why can't they run together? And why can't they be weighted like they used to do with like Super Stock Light, where you could run a piston port at, I mean, back when I started, it was like 280, right? And then the reeds and rotaries had to weigh 310 in light, and heavy was, 310 and 320 or whatever. But so I don't get it, And then they turn around and then they come out with a 206. So it's like, are you trying to shoot yourself in the foot? I'm not quite sure. I don't get, What did the one guy say on Success Magazine? He said, most people who are super successful, yeah, they dabble here and there, but they're successful because they do one thing and they do one thing good. And so, I don't know, you tell me, what's the answer to that? I mean, you've got the Animal, then you come up with the World Formula. Okay, what was the point of that? And then now you're going to come out with a 206. I mean, it's like, so now does that make the World Formula and the Animal obsolete? Well, I don't know. It's now it's making people have to pick and choose, which, as we all know, that's a tough deal, right? I mean, decisions are tough.
It is tough. I can answer a few of those questions. Now, the Animal motor was, a fun motor that came out, and they learned some things from that. I'm not very familiar with the World Formula yet, but the 206 basically was an all-out race motor, and they figured out what they did wrong with the Animal, and they applied it to the 206 motor, which is a great baseline to start with. And the classes that they do have, and even the one they're running at Salem, it's a great deal. It's those motors are bulletproof. They'll run for 2 or 3 years without having to do anything to them, and that's really the key to the success of that. Again, it goes back to the clone and why you have to pay $300 or $400 for it and then take it to a builder to make it so it'll last and be fast. I don't get that when you can buy the 206 for $500 bolted on and run it, and be competitive in your class. It doesn't make any sense why the clones take off and do as well as they do. The Briggs and Strattons, I'm very happy to have them here. I'm very happy what they're doing for karting in general. It's a great thing for us, and Dave down there at Briggs and Stratton is a great guy. He's working his tail off to make these things go and make them be competitive. And they had a camshaft problem with the 206s, but I think they've gotten that all sorted out, and it's a solid motor package. It really is, and we need to try and support it more. I'm so glad that Salem finally picked it up and is running it. Hats off to Hatch and all the rest of those guys for not squabbling about it and moving right over to it.
Well, yeah, but here's the deal. Like, you look at the Gold Cup, and there's guys you don't know. I mean, animals and world formulas, they got to run separate, or they got, I mean, to me, it just doesn't, you got light and 3/4 and 5/8 and, you know what I mean? It's, purple, blue, pink, green, red, it's like, gosh, let's narrow it down. I mean, geez, if you're, no, we're not running medium, add 15 pounds or 20 pounds like you used to do in the old days, and run heavy if you're too heavy for light. I mean, it worked. Yeah. And if you look at everything, there wasn't all these, everybody says, well, I don't, yeah, it only is a problem now because it was allowed to get that way.
Yep.
Right? Back in the day, it was, hey, it's light or heavy. You choose, but we don't care, but it's light or it's heavy. And there was, 25, 30 guys all, and then you got animal, world formula, same deal. That's where, I mean, everybody's kind of saying, well, what's wrong with the junior classes? Where are they all? Well, that's part of the problem, I think, is because it's like, do I run an animal? Do I run a world formula? Yeah, I mean, get one, but, are you running a world formula? I don't know. Are you running an animal? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's like, so you never know. It's just a guess. So until they get something established there, like in the juniors, right? Look at Salem. I mean, there's never any juniors there, and that's not Salem's fault.
No, it's not.
I think it's just a package, right? Everybody you talk to, hey, are you coming to BK8? The first question they ask is, well, we'd like to, but what do you run for junior classes, right? Because there just isn't anything anymore.
Yeah, no, it's sad that we don't have any juniors and up-and-coming drivers. I mean, there are a few out there, and hats off to those and their dads and moms that get them out there and get them started with that. The Smarks are a perfect example of that. But, I don't have the answer to that either. I don't know where all the kids are and why they don't want to do that. You'll find them in plenty of the other classes, i.e. the quarter midgets or the winged outlaws, So they're out there. It's just they haven't made their way down to where we are yet. I don't have the answer why, though.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I love quarter midgets. They're awesome, but it made my head spin reading the rule book, right? I mean, they rule everything. I mean, you get even the judges thing, that's, to me, that's just insanity. So every, 3 heats or something, you switch 4 judges. So, where's the consent? I don't know, man. We could open up another can of worms on that one, but
oh boy.
Hey, big news. Let's kind of close this thing out on a BK note. Big news. I know you know. Robbie Sarchet's coming to Salem, baby.
Nice.
Dude. And, I talked to ES7 a little bit. He said he really wanted to get in the car, but the doctor advised him it probably wasn't it just wasn't a good deal in case something happened. But he's got Jim Bob Klaber coming to roll his ride. So both those are a couple heavy hitters.
I think we're going to see quite a few heavy hitters. It's only going to get bigger. So
Sarchet's going to be in JP, one of JP's right now. I don't know if that means Lawton's not coming. I don't know. But, boy, that's big, boy. So let's just kind of we'll probably miss somebody, but still. So you got Diotti. You got Angel. You got Chase. Who you got? Bridges. You got Ronnie Cox. You have Joe Stackman. Sean Carr,
Chris Gibb,
Brad Berg, Renee Angel,
Kevin Bridges.
Yeah. Let's see. Who am Anna Singleton?
Actually, I don't think they're going to make it.
What?
Yeah. He hasn't been working much at all. The port's really slowed down up there in Washington, and he's in the last 5 weeks he's worked probably 6 days. So they're in a bad way. He'd really like to be there.
We need to help them out.
She
needs to be there. This is totally not fair, right? I mean, to me, she is we need to find some way. We need to get a hold of Jason, maybe, let it slide, IOU, something. I mean, we need to, Ron Bowles will be there, Ford Cook, Ryan Fernandez. I mean, good grief, dude. And I know we're missing, good night.
Yeah, and anybody that is planning on making it to the race, they need to get a hold of Matt Strebe on Facebook and hit him up, let him know what class you're going to be in, what your motor package is, and your number, and all your stats, and all that stuff, and get it into Matt Strebe and let him know about it. Last I heard, we just broke 100 entries as of last weekend.
Yeah, and Brandon Day was the 100th entry.
Yes,
so
he was.
Got his excused for being that entry. And I think Jason said it was 150 or 152. They were going to get theirs excused if we could get it up that high. So, hey, here's the deal. Yes, it's the BK8. Yes, it's a UAS class. But let me tell you, this is a big event for anybody that's going to run that. Whether it's a KT or the 206 or the Super Sports. I mean, man, if you've got a go-kart and you really think you're talented, bring it out.
Absolutely.
And even if you're not that talented, bring it out. There's a lot of great people there that you can network with and learn some things. I mean, in my humble opinion, it's, not excluding the guys from the East, but they don't come, so it's the best of the best here. I mean, it just brings the top flight. I mean, like you were saying, I think last week, people are excited just to make the A main.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, I mean, there's going to be some good guys going home. That's all I know. And let me tell you, if you have never seen a last chance qualifier trying to get in at the BK, it's heaven sent. It's some people say, oh, it's crazy. I love them because it's all or nothing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think a few people we left out there, too, was Josh Culley and Tim Lawrence, all those guys over there in Idaho and Utah on that. They put on a heck of a show. They came over for a race in December 12th, and really they put on a great show.
Yeah, and I just forgot, too, Ford Cook's, the NorCal, they've got that deal because they're trying to expose people to speedway racing down there. So they got the NorCal clones. They're going to be here.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one, too. I think 6 or 8, he said last count was there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, the Fart Cart 150.
Yep.
That's entice some people to hang out. So
newsflash on that one, we got my boss and sponsor Scott Sealcoat's going to be running one of ours with Rusty. So
that's awesome. Mr. Diotti, I believe 14 start the main.
Yes,
I think personally, I think there should be some provisionals for past champions of that. So
I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, as of late, I think it was 10 race their way, or 10 make it in, and then 4 get the transfer their way in, is the way we did it last year.
Right, and I argued with Ronnie on that a little bit, so I'm like, what the hell's qualifying for? I mean, what good? I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, it starts you for your deal, but man, if you're fast time, excuse me, in that bunch, I mean, there should be something there, right? But like he said, it is true when I thought about it. You want to race your way in. You don't want it to be an automatic, and I get that until you get tore up or something stupid. But They've upped it too before. I think 16 and whatever. But I mean,
it's a bit of chaos.
It is. Here's my deal with it is I don't think 25 laps is enough. I mean, that's just. I mean, I'm not saying 50 or 100, but I'm saying, I mean, look how quick. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't, especially if you're in the rear. I mean, you got to be sturdy as well as speedy, right? So, I mean, there's got to be a little bit of that in there, and if you just run away with it, and what they did at Willamette Speedway, they used to do, and I think there might be, I don't know how they pay, man, but Willamette used to say, if you won it from the pole, because fast time used to start in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you were fast time, you started in the back. But you got 2 points for everybody you passed. But if you won it from the front, it paid like $1,000.
Wow.
But if you won it from the rear, you got, I was like $1,350 or whatever it was. It went up a couple $300. So there was some incentive there. Plus you get 2 points, per car and all that. So, I don't know. I mean,
we don't need to overthink it or overcomplicate it. I like the idea of racing your way in, and I think that's the way it should be. I also like the qualifying. It's bragging rights.
I like the qualifying. I'm just saying it should count for something more than just.
Well,
I mean, you just out-qualified the fastest people in the West Coast. I mean,
that's what the shootout's for, though, with the top four, right? I mean, you're the top four, and then you got to do the shootout, and that pays too. So I'm pretty good with that. I don't like pill picks. I understand why it happens and why it is, but I like the time-ins.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with what you say, but it's like, well, look at Diotti and BK6. If he wouldn't have ran that dash,
Wayne Phelps didn't.
He would have. Yeah, he would have. See, so I mean, but I do love trophy dashers. I think they're a huge. I think they're a huge part of the game. It's part of the oval tradition, right? And I mean, if the guys can race with their head, right? I mean, but you put a Franklin up, and all hell's probably going to break loose, right? So
for sure.
But hey, that's the way it's gonna go, But hey, we're about out of time. Anything you want to?
Is that Kevin Bridges I seen?
Yes, he's been there all night. That's
nice.
pretty awesome.
Good to see.
So we're gonna kind of wrap things up. Lippy, good to see you, man. Thanks for making the effort. Hopefully, good things are gonna come your way in 2016.
They can't get much worse. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to give a huge shout-out to Jason Sucic.
Oh, yeah.
Dude is working his butt off. He's filled some big shoes. Roger Freeburn did a great job. But, Jason, you're killing it, man. Your attitude, the way you handle things, just your demeanor. You are single-handedly
the man.
Yes, you are making Salem pretty good, and I don't expect anything different from the BK. Ryan Diotti, the hitman, in the house. Chisholm. Sarchette's coming. I don't know why you can't.
Start driving. You'll make it now.
And Matt Strebe says we don't have entries from Glenn or Scott yet either.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'll Glenn's not coming, Matt. He's going to be working at the Northwest Race Report. Sorry.
I'm only running one cart, though, so that's why I'm going to be doing that. And I'll be getting a hold of you. And anybody else out there, Matt Strebe, get a hold of him on Facebook and give him your entry, give him your info, get it out there. We need to know about it. It really helps us out in the booth being able to call your information out as well.
It does. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, taking the time out of your night to hang out and kick it. Kick it in. We've got some great, if you want to advertise, do some little stuff here and there. We'll take onesie twosies as well. And that money goes so Lippy and I can do shows or get somewhere to call a race. So, and we take donations too, but that's not necessarily the main deal. The main deal is we want you to get something for us. So, give us a heads up. Let us know what's going on. I hope everybody had a great, happy New Year. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Absolutely.
In life, as on the racetrack, if somebody is on the bottom or taking the low side, what do you got to do?
Hit the high side and hit it hard.
Right on. Thanks, Kurt Burris. You're the man, dude. You better call me.
Or we'll be calling you.
That's right.